Greetings everyone, this is Aaron18 and welcome to a brand new series that I'm going to be starting to kind of start doing Minecraft again-ish. I promised Minecraft, and this is Minecraft. This is Minecraft Dungeons, the game. I know that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this game. If you're not, let me just give you a quick rundown. Basically, this is a Diablo-esque RPG dungeon crawler type isometric voxel game. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but that's really what it is. So basically, this is Minecraft's version of an RPG, as well as a sort of dungeon crawler game. It's also, as you can see, pseudo isometric right now. This is just the beginning screen. You'll see what I mean later on. But it's also in Minecraft style. So I played this game quite a bit, but I haven't done it on camera, so I figured it's time that we do it on camera. So I'm going to be doing this skin, and let's get started with the tutorial. There's a lot in this game.
The village is burning. No doubt this is the work of the evil Arch-Illager and his minions. They sweep across the land like a ravenous scourge, subjugating or destroying all in their path. This is a time for heroes like yourself. Make haste. The villagers have need of you.
Okay. So as you can probably see from that cutscene, there's a lot of story behind this. So, let me kind of explain. So I'm going to press tab. So one of the things with this is, as you can see, I'm going to have the map overlay on. There's a lot of story behind this. So basically, there is a, this evil Illager called the Arch-Illager, and he has this super powerful orb that's making him rain terror across all the land. And we have to stop him, basically. So that was just a cutscene. This is the tutorial. As you can see, with the overlay map, you can see that there's a lot of stuff. You can press M for the map, and as you can see, there are 2 secrets and 2 chests. I usually press tab, which is the key binding I have for the overlay map, so you guys actually know where I am, and I know where I am. So as you can see, there's this little landmass over here, and I just rolled, press space, and you can see there's a couple of different things. So if we press E, we have a sword, a sturdy and reliable blade, 10 to 16 melee damage, and then we have a bow, 10 to 25 range damage, and we have no armor. We don't need armor. I'm also going to equip a cape, and I don't know, let's do Arctic Fox, just for fun. And use that emote. So as you can see, there's a couple of different enchantments. We'll get to that later. And we have some artifact slots. None of which we don't have. And as you can see, I have an FPS counter at the top. So we also have M for the map. And we have I for a healing potion. We don't need that right now because we are at max health. We have emeralds and we have arrows. We don't have any arrows right now. We will get them later on. But over here on the map, it shows you this chest, and there is a chest right here. So let's open it, and we get some emeralds. Very nice. So, if you've never played this before, look at tutorials on YouTube of this game, or like first looks. And we just wrecked that zombie. So you can get these capes from the new DLCs. If you have the Hero DLC, you'll be able to have this. But as you can see, this is the tutorial because it's telling us where to go, and we have very low level gear. And if you've ever seen like Minecraft Dungeons, like first playthrough and so forth, you'll know that there's a big like cutscene before the tutorial. But that only plays when you've done, this is your first time playing the game. If this is not your first time playing the game, then it won't work then. There is a thing, if you look under, probably settings, I don't remember off the top of my head. I know there's a way to trigger the cutscene again, but it won't trigger normally if you've played the game through. As you can see, we're wrecking these enemies. Got a skeleton to wreck. And yeah, I'm just going to be playing through the tutorial, and then I'm going to go through the next area after this. So, the plan for the series is to play through the entire thing. So that means the main story, the DLCs, stuff like that. I want to play through it all over again. Yeah, that's kind of the motive. That's the plan. And in these kinds of games, you might wonder why I'm going like down there instead of just taking the path, because you never know if you're gonna find loot. In this game, you can find like secret chests. They aren't super hard to find if you know where you're looking. In which case, you could find some pretty nice loot. All right, so now we're gonna get ambushed. This is the Arch Illager. He's gonna summon a bunch of enemies, which aren't super hard to kill. There we go. And we just leveled up, which means we have earned an enchantment point. And now we can enchant our weapons. So we have two different enchantments for the bow. We have Poison Cloud, which has a 30% chance to summon a poison cloud that deals damage to enemies in an area for 3 seconds. So 3, 6, and 9. Each time you level up, you'll get enchantment points. And but basically, like this one requires 1, 2 requires 2, 3 requires 3. So it requires 6 enchantment points to fully upgrade it. And as you can see, we have 2 enchantments in this slot. We can only have one or the other. So in this case, shoots nearby mobs when you roll, costing 1 arrow per roll. Projectiles deal 40% of a charged shot's damage. So 1, 2, and 3. And then for the sword, we have Pain Cycle. Attacking drains your life. To grant 1 stack of Pain Cycle at 5 stacks, your pain is channeled into your next attack. And that goes all the way up to quintuple, or 5 times the amount of damage. And then we have Prospector. Enemies you defeat have a higher chance of dropping emeralds. So it goes all the way up to 300%. So I'm actually going to save these because I kind of want to get better gear first. Which I know this is just the tutorial. But the tutorial will have... But you could get some nice stuff. For later on. Alright. That was a Firework Arrow. So these are artifacts. These are like single-use or multi-use items that effectively do something special. So for example, puts a Firework Arrow in your quiver. The arrow explodes on hit. This thing deals 40 range damage, which is a lot higher than the 25 that we do maximum. But this thing does have a 30-second cooldown, which means it is counteracted a little bit. Okay, over here. This might have something. Nope. You'll find yourself in a lot of those kinds of situations. You're looking through the area, and you find somewhere it's like, there might be a chest at the end, but then there isn't. Or you can't get there. That does happen. Check over here if there's anything. Nothing. Okay. It's a lot of scenery, mostly. Okay. Alright, and this is camp.
You were too late to rescue the villagers, but don't fret. They're still out there somewhere waiting for a hero to find them.
Yep, and this is where our camp will be. So let's jump in to camp, into the camp. Might take a minute to load. Alright, and this is just our level complete. These are the results. So we've not taken any sort of healing. We've taken 3 damage, opened all the chests, and dealt almost 500 damage. get a special chest at the end. And we get a fishing rod. And raid captains. This is part of a DLC. Okay. So there's a lot in here to talk about. So, we have a new artifact, which I will put right here. Pulls the closest mob to range to your position, briefly stunning the enemy. So 1.6 second stun duration, and it has a cooldown of 5 seconds. And just so you know, this is how it works. And then there's a bunch of different things. We'll get to those in a minute. But over here, there's a trading dummy where we can see how much damage we do. So as you can see, there's no enemies nearby, which means it won't work. And there's a couple of things here. So, we have an adventure hub. As you can see, I did complete quite a few of these in my other characters. But that's perfectly fine. So, these just give you different rewards. Same with this. It says to level up to unlock. That's probably why. Alright. Over here is a storage chest. This will hold more items because, yes, your inventory does have a limit. It's not these 12. It actually goes way higher, but it will run out. So that's where this comes into play. And then you've got, over here is a tower. We'll be doing this some other times, but right now it is not a priority. Right now I want to go to the mission select, and I want to do Creeper Woods, which is where one of our characters are. So you might be thinking, well, stay on power level 1. The thing is, though, the higher you go, the better the equipment is. I am going to stick with 1 this early on because I'm not super well prepared. It's been a long time since I've played so early on, because in my main character I've got all sorts of powerful loot and so forth.
By the Arch-Illager's decree, all free folk are now enemies of the Illager Empire. Somewhere in these woods, a caravan is transporting villager prisoners to labor in far-off lands. Find the caravan and stop the Illagers, or there's no telling what dreadful doom will befall our villager friends.
So this is the first area that isn't the tutorial, and this is the first, like, replayable area all the time. So, usually you want to press M for the map. 1 secret out of 5, so there are 4 secrets remaining, and then 5 chests. Press tab for the overlay map, and let's get started. Now, as you can see, we do have 80 arrows, which is nice. And what you want to do for these kinds of areas is you want to go everywhere. Look at every nook and cranny. You might find something. At least in my case, that happens. So over here, nothing. That's perfectly fine. We can just keep moving. And secrets, the map does change over time. So if you play it over and over and over again, it will have different secrets. But right now, this is the first time playing through, which means secret availability is getting sort of limited. And since you can get regeneration, it's getting limited. And it lasts for different amounts of time. Right. Some emeralds. Check over here. Nothing. Okay. So as you can see, there's these different indicators telling us which way to go, because that's the direction to the end of the game, or rather to the end of this level. Alright, and now we have wolf armor. Healing potion, and what you want to do is you want to equip armor. So wolf armor plus 2 health, 20% damage weapon damage boost aura, health potions, heal nearby allies. As you can see, there are some enchantments on here. We'll get to the enchantments later. So we're going to equip this armor, and we're going to save our villager. Here to open that door. But there also looks like there's a lot of other things on this path. So we might be encountering some more loot. Ooh, or this might connect to something else. Okay. Maybe that's where this area over here is. Sometimes secrets will vary. So like in this case, this is not usually what you'll find. But sometimes it can spawn. And this is where the big loot comes into play. Alright. So it might seem really easy right now. These are all low-level enemies. So our equipment is fair-ish to them. So I'm not instant killing all of them. I'm instant killing like the easy ones. Alright, and here's the Alright, as you see, I got some old wolf armor. And as you heard from that sound, probably there was a chest up here, as well as a gate. Open this, and we're gonna get a better sword. And they're both basically the same. This armor actually has more enchantments, so now you can have 2 enchantments instead of just 1. Both of these swords are basically the same, but that thundering is pretty nice. I'm gonna keep them for right now. Alright, as you can see, this area here enters into a cave. You'll find these quite often, and that was TNT. Don't run into the TNT, otherwise you will explode. It's pretty straightforward. Right. And this is where we're... Alright, so we nearly died there. 8 health remaining. Fortunately, we killed these guys relatively easily. Alright. Also, there is no strength 2. When you drink a strength potion, it just resets. With regeneration, it stacks, so you can have regeneration 2. Swiftness does the same thing. Okay, better bow. Just leveled up again. That is pretty nice. And as you can see, we get another enchantment point. Now, it's not perfect because level 1, we don't have an enchantment point. So, in order to figure out how many enchantment points you have, you can usually just do your level minus 1 is usually what you can do. Sometimes it isn't, sometimes it works because you've enchanted other things. As you can see, secrets. Go through every nook and cranny you can. I actually don't think I've been here before. Like, even in my main character. I mean, maybe. Alright, as you can see, better sword and a better bow. So we're going to equip the bow and the sword. And this plus 0 health. Yeah, so this isn't any boosted health. This plus 2. This gives us no health. Which is kind of unfortunate. Because the way it works in Minecraft Dungeons, you get more health, you don't get more damage reduction. Alright, so it looks like there's some pads over here. I want to go through here. There we go. This is a jump pad. Got another better sword. So we'll equip that. Early on, it's all about getting the best stuff. It's not about preference. That's later on. Most games are like that, but just so you know. Also, there's no crafting. You buy the items. And that is a even better sword drop from the skeleton. So we're going to equip that. As you can see, this time it does 13 to 21. These do 10 to 16. So a lot better. Well, it's not a lot better, but early on, small numbers make a big difference. It does not have anything. And I don't want to regenerate that right now because the healing potion does heal a lot. I'm waiting for later on. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been over here before. Another chest. Now we have an axe. So axe, as you can see, 13 to 21. This one does 17 to 26, and it's a spin attack. So we're going to actually equip this. Now you might be wondering, well, they're the same level. Yes, look at the damage. 13 to 21, 17 to 26. And this thing also has a higher area of attack. Yes, that spin attack at the end will be useful. And yes, when it says explosions, yeah, that counts collateral damage. Alright, this is definitely new. Don't end up with these eyes. I just kind of want to wait for my health to come back. Okay. As you can see, we have unique. Everything else has been common. There's 3 rarities. Common, which is this. Uncommon, which have green border and slightly better stats. And then you have uniques, which are stuff like this. So this is based off of wolf armor. So more health. 30% chance to negate damage, which is amazing. 20% weapon damage boost aura, and health potions heal nearby allies. So we're going to definitely equip that. Looks a lot more glowing. And we get 2 enchantment slots instead of just 1. And as you can see, we get a couple of other enchantments. So Luck of the Sea increases your luck, which boosts the chance that rare drops become unique. So rare is the green bordered ones, and up to 30% for that. Cowardice, while you're at full HP, you deal increased ranged and melee damage, up to 40% more damage. Frenzied, while you're at less than half health, your melee and ranged attack speeds are increased by up to 30%. And an Explorer, every 100 blocks explored on the map, you regain a small amount of health, so up to 1% health. Alright, so the Look of the Sea is actually really nice because this will give you a higher chance of getting uniques. Uniques are significantly better. If you're looking for them. So they can be really powerful. And this is voided, makes you go really slow. And now we're up here, and we can continue. As you can see, there's another area. And we have 200 arrows about, so that's plenty to get through here. And since this is a single shot bow, you don't have to worry about, and it has, as you can see, decent ammo. You'll have some bows that the ammo is absolute garbage. As you can see, we just negated damage, which is actually really good. And yes, you can murder the animals to get food, which might be useful in some scenarios. As you can see, there are some heavier enemies. And then we get strength, which I think almost doubles our damage. Or, yeah, something like that. Doubles damage. It only applies with melee. It will not work with ranged, unfortunately. So, you know, we can't do huge amounts of damage with our poor little bow. Let's get some more emeralds. This area is not usually that long. There are some really long areas, but that one secret did take us a little bit longer, and that's purely because of the DLC, which is the end DLC. Something like that. I don't remember the name of it. We have to hit this button. This lifts up the thing. The piston finishes the circuit, and it opens up to a gateway. As you can see, there's quite a bit of space here, but there's a wall. What do? Well, all you have to do is click on this new location. So we have discovered the Creepy Crypt, which is another area. It's not part of the story. That one is only a secret area, usually because you need to find these pedestals, which sometimes spawn, sometimes they don't. This one triggered the spawn, and this one will always spawn because it's used to trigger that spawning. So we've got Hunter's Armor, which plus 23 health, plus 10 arrows per bundle, and plus 30% range damage. That's not that good, all things considered, compared to my armor, so we're not going to equip it. And there is a salvage button. We'll get to that a little bit later. Yeah, so this is a lot shorter than usual. Usually it's a lot longer, but because it's so early game, it's meant to be easy. So we got a Shutterproof Potion, which is invisibility, but we also do huge damage when we attack during that time frame. Nothing. That's fine. And later on, we'll get some good gear, like gear that would actually make us really powerful, but right now we're dealing with whatever the game gives us. As you can see, we have 183 emeralds, which sounds good, but in this game, later on, you're going to be spending thousands of emeralds. Literal thousands. I speak from experience. Plenty of emeralds to go around, and yeah, that's the kind of thing. Emeralds fly all over the place. I don't know if it's meant to be a bug or a feature. It just is a thing. And what I'm doing is I'm just super powering my bow. So as you can see, I hold it down. It's basically like a critical hit. So, oh, this was what I was talking about. The rare has this green border, and these are basically just the better versions of common. That's it. And this one's even worse than the first one, so we'll get to that. And then, of course, we get out later on. And right off the bat, a Swiftness Potion, as well as killing a sheep, gives us pork. Not mutton, which is fine. And we just leveled up again. Now we have 3 enchantment points to spare. Or to spend, however you want to use it. Alright. So before we go down there, as you can see, there is a creeper. Creepers spawn in this area, hence the name Creeper Woods. So there's an area over here. One-shot that creeper. So before we get in there, I actually want to get this emerald jar. Emerald jars spawn naturally, and they just give you emeralds. And yes, you can take full damage in this game. So this is a little area that will give us some better loot, specifically emeralds. That's one of our villagers. So at the camp you get these villager merchants, and they will be useful, but right now we need to save them. Merchant unlocked. Village merchant, so this is the first one. And that will give us some good loot, because you spend money to get new items from them. And I'll show you what I mean when we get back to base. Let's progress through these mushrooms, which if you walk on, They make a noise. It's kind of cool. Alright, this is a big area. Quite a few enemies. I've got 300 arrows I can spare. I didn't hit anything over there, that's fine. So a tactic with these huge areas is to go around them, like around the borders, the edges of the playable space, and then basically just work your way inside and out. It usually works, because then you'll find any of the outskirt special loot out here. Maybe. Got some TNT, which is, as you can see, replaced our arrows. And this will be useful for crowd control because it's TNT. It's a big boom. Some of these guys we don't one-hit because they are harder guys, but they do die pretty quickly anyways. I'm just walking through the outskirts. TNT. Alright, I am going to get back to that area. I'm going around, as you can see, emerald jar. That's why you always look, because that's incredibly important. No loot there, so we keep going. We, of course, pick up the TNT, because why wouldn't we? We have an explosion hat. Big boom hat. It's like a boomstick, but you wear it. There we go. Get rid of the enemies relatively easily. And there's nothing over there. Alright. Get to the next area, which is this little house, this little cottage. We'll get to that big spider area in a minute. So some emerald jars and some supplies, which in this case is regeneration and arrows. Now we already encountered spiders in that little cave off to the side. As you see, we can also get ×2 regeneration. How I missed, but that's perfectly fine. I got arrows. Now these guys can drop equipment, stuff like that. And you know, spiders are horrible. They're good enemies, but they're just annoying because of those webs. They will make you stuck and you won't be able to move. Now that we've eliminated that, we can now start getting our loot, which in this case tends to be emeralds. Emerald jars. And yes, enemies can sometimes drop, like, actually good loot, but usually you're going to end up with more XP and emeralds through areas like this. Let's keep progressing, and this is where, as you can see, we have these bunch of these different yellow indicators. This is where we have to go in order to complete this segment. to rescue that villager. And he teleports away. So these are all just Vindicators, and some of them are enchanters, which basically make these enemies a lot harder. If you saw the enemy at the beginning, that big Enderman-like creature, that is one of them. So over here is actually a little secret, and it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like it wants me to trigger it yet. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go around. I've got to get to over here where one of them is. And you want to get rid of those guys fast because they do big damage. You want to go through every possible area, as I said, to get loot. Even if there isn't loot, you might find something. If it doesn't look like there is, you might find something. So those enchanters you also want to get rid of because they will ruin your day. To the end of this little leg, and as you can see, there's a chest. Oh wait, there's two chests. That's why you always go into these nooks and crannies. So one area, nothing. Next one, nothing really good either. Okay, and as you can see, we're getting close to level 4. Let me get back to the main area. So, actually, that would be a good time for me to explain like what my idea for the series is. Basically, the idea is to, as I said, complete the entire game. Basically, beat all the bosses. I get to a stage where it's like, yes, this is sort of like where you would stop. That's kind of the idea. I'm going to try and upload more regularly, hopefully. No plans, apart from that. Also, as you can see, you use the cursor to move around. Very important. So we're about to get into a big area. And we have about 600 arrows to spare, so yeah. Might as well spend them. Alright, that's the right area, so we want to go the wrong way. And this looks like a graveyard that may or may not be abandoned. That's not my business. And then over here is nothing. Disappointing. Alright, another chest. And we get another bow, which is not good either. Disappointing, to say the very least. Is there a chest over here? No. Apart from that chest, there was nothing in this small area over here. As you can see, there's a little island over there. You can't actually reach that. I've tried. It doesn't work. Just so you know. Some areas are inaccessible for one reason or another. And this looks like we're getting close to the end of the area. No, As you can see, we can shoot pretty far, actually. And over here is nothing. Actually, no, this does look like we're getting close to the end. Alright. Hammer these guys. We're gonna get our rightful loot, which is emeralds. This used to spawn a chest. Kind of disappointing. Alright, and then this is the exit. We throw the TNT, and we leave.
These villages are free from the clasp of the Illagers. All thanks to you.
We beat the first non-tutorial area. We should get our results fairly soon. Yep. So 144 skeletons defeated. All the chests have been opened. No healing. 13,000 damage dealt, and 97% of the projectiles hit. Okay, what do we get from our monster chest? Boost of swiftness. Nice. So I'm gonna equip these. I know you can select an enchantment. We have one eye of enter, but we'll use that later. I actually want to see what this village merchant has. So, he has two things. He has a soul lantern, 21 summon damage, 5-second cooldown, plus 1 soul gathering. It requires souls. Soul lantern summons a creature of bound souls who will fight by your side for a short time. So the way that this works is that every time you kill an enemy, you gain souls. And you can use these souls for these different soul artifacts. So this thing has a 5-second cooldown. It does 21 summon damage. It's actually pretty good. We also have a double axe, 22 melee damage, and a spin attack. So 22 compared to our 26, a little bit weak, but it has some nice enchantments. So that one is leeching, which will give us, it'll allow us to regenerate health every time we kill an enemy, and this will give us a shield effectively every time we kill an enemy as well. But we can only use one or the other. So you may have noticed early on that there's a salvage button. This thing basically just converts items into emeralds. So I'm just going to go through and salvage all these because no reason to get them. Or at least some of them. So stuff like this can go away. Prospector's actually not bad, considering whatever. Don't need that because I already have one. I'm actually going to keep one of my Hunter's armors because of the extra arrows. That will be useful in some scenarios. Keep this armor for the extra arrows. And this one, I'm also going to get rid of. Alright. And there you have it. A playthrough of Minecraft Dungeons. It looks like there's a chest over here. I wonder what this gives us. Yes, I found 50 emeralds. Nice. Very nice indeed. And we'll do this tower another time. Also, if you press tab, it doesn't work. Okay. So, that will do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Minecraft Dungeons. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully, we'll be back soon for some more Minecraft Dungeons.